Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I wanted to do a little bit of a fun video today, and how this video idea got started was me and my wife. Recently we were discussing some crafts and some things that we did as kids, and one of the things that we both ended up making was what's called an ice candle. And it was just a fun project that we did in the wintertime to pass the slow winter months where we couldn't get outside. But it also has a preparedness angle to it, because those ice candles, as the candle burns down in the ice candle, it gives a kind of a diffused light, so it's almost like a little lantern. It doesn't give quite the bright sharp light that a regular candle does. And how it's made is with just some real basic stuff. It was all makeshift things, and the first most important thing you need one of these square waxed cartons, either a milk carton, cream carton. I've got a little dehydrated hash brown carton here, and basically what you do is you glue a candle in the bottom of it like so, or you will take a wick and dangle a wick down in it and lay like a pencil across the top of it. My wife did the wick method, and we always did the candle method. We would glue a candle down into the bottom of it. And then, after the candle's glued in there, you would fill this in with ice. And then you would melt wax, and you would pour that wax into here and let that solidify. Well, of course, the ice would melt, and that would create holes in the candle where the light could get through as a candle, or the wick would burn down. And like I said, all you need for this is one of these containers here. You need a candle, or you need a wick and a pencil or something to dangle that down in. I actually use the wick and pencil method when I make my Crisco candles. And then you need some kind of glue or silicone. I'm just going to use some shoe glue that I got here to put on the bottom of this to glue it into the bottom of the carton here. And then you're going to need some paraffin, and I got regular golf wax here. I'm going to use probably 2 sheets of this to make sure that I have enough for this container right here. And then another thing that was always done, if you wanted to color these candles, kids always had broken crayons laying around, so then you could throw a couple broken crayons into that paraffin to give that candle some color. And I think we're going to do that with this candle here, just to show you guys how to go about doing that. Like I said, it's just kind of a fun project that we used to do as kids, but it also has a little bit of a preparedness angle to it, so I'm going to show you guys how I go about making one of these. Alright, I'm going to show you guys just real simply how I glue the candle down here in the bottom. Now, you could do like a regular Elmer's glue on this too, but that takes quite a bit longer for that glue to set up, and then you got to kind of stand there and hold it so it sets up a little bit. I find that using a little bit of silicone works better on that. So I'm using a little bit of this real tacky shoe glue here. I'm going to put a nice glob on the bottom of the candle. And then all I'm going to do is just stick that right in the middle, and you can see there that candle already kind of wants to stand up. I'm going to hold this here for a second and let that kind of solidify, and when we're done, we're going to fill this up with some ice. Alright, as you can see here, we got our candle centered in the middle with our little bit of silicone on the bottom to hold it in place. And all we're going to do is take some larger pieces of ice and just go around the outside edge of this and bring that up to the top of the candle, not quite to the wick. Now, this is just some water that we put outside overnight so it could freeze, and then just broke it up to give us our ice for this project. Now we're going to set this guy outside and let it stay cold while we go ahead and we melt a little paraffin in a double boiler over the wood stove. When I melt paraffin, I like to do it with a oven bag, and I just put that in the boiling water to melt the paraffin. That way you don't have to clean up the paraffin. Sometimes that can be a bit of a mess. And we're going to throw a candle in the paraffin to give it a little bit, a crayon in the paraffin to give it a little bit of color, so this candle looks real nice. But anyway, I'm going to get the double boiler going over on the stove to melt that paraffin, so we can pour that in here to form our candle. All right, you guys can see here, I've got the double boiler melting the paraffin. It takes a little bit. You always want to be really careful with paraffin because it is flammable, especially if you're doing it over an open flame source like I'm doing right here. And most of the big chunks of wax are melted. I used 4 sheets actually of wax in here. I wanted to make sure that I had enough to make this candle for you guys. And now I got the broken crayons for the coloring. My wife decided on orange, so we're going to make an orange candle here. We're just going to throw those crayon pieces in here. You can see they're already starting to melt. Now we're going to let all this melt. We're going to stir this real well, and then we're going to transfer it into our candle. All right, you can see here I got my gloves on. Close the wood stove so we don't get any embers or any pops that come out. We're going to lift our wax out of our double boiler. Now we're going to come over here to the workbench. And slowly, without trying to get it everywhere, which I'm probably going to do, fill our wax in. My wife would say I can't make anything without making a mess, so today is no exception. And all you'd have to do if you want to do this on a table is put a little wax paper down, and then that wax wouldn't stick to anything. You can see there we're up to the top of the candle. And our ice is covered. Back there in the double boiler. Now I'm going to pick this wick up here so that wick stands up a little bit. Now we're going to let that paraffin mixture solidify. We're going to have ourselves a candle. All right, you can see here the wick is standing up in the center. It's been about 10 minutes since we poured our paraffin, and it's starting to solidify nicely. You can see here I don't have too big a mess on my workbench. That's why I like doing these messy projects outside sometimes. But we're going to let this go now for several hours so this can set up really, really good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut this carton off this, and then our candle will be formed. That's something you want to do outside when you're cutting this off, because of course that ice is going to melt and all that water is going to leak out. So a couple hours here, we're going to come back, we're going to show you what the finished candle looks like. All right guys, it's been about 5 hours. I went outside, took my pocket knife, and I poked a hole in the bottom of this guy and let the water from the ice drain out. Now, all I'm going to do is pry these sides away, and then we're going to tear this corner here. And that's our candle. Now I'm going to let this guy sit for a day to let the water kind of dry out of this. And we'll come back here in a day and I'll light it and I'll show you guys what this bad boy looks like. And here we are the next evening. Lit the ice candle about 2 hours ago. Just wanted to show you guys what the warm glow of this candle looks like out here in the pitch dark. I put a paper plate underneath this candle just so if any wax comes out the holes from the ice, it wouldn't get on the workbench. You could do the same thing if you were on a table or something so you didn't get that wax on the table. But just a neat little project from my wife's and my childhood that we used to do this time of year. Also just a neat project to get the kids interested into preparedness. Just wanted to show this to you guys. I hope you guys got a little bit of a kick out of this
just a fun video here making this ice candle. Anyway, this is Modern Refugee. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys get a little information, a little entertainment out of my videos, and you guys have a great night.